Hey everybody, Steven here, and today I have a new office chair that we're going to be looking at. This is the Ergo Pro from Odinlake. So the company reached out to me, asked if I'd be interested in looking at this product, and the big draw for me, two different features. One, this actually has a recliner feature, so it actually has something that will support your legs that'll come out, and I've only used one other chair that I'll talk about here in a second that has that feature. And two, the capacity, the load capacity for this is 400 pounds, which is 100 to 150 pounds more than the other chairs that I have. I'm not a big guy, I weigh about 200 pounds, but I like seeing that increase in capacity just in case anybody needs it. So for some of these chairs where it's only 250 pounds, and you happen to be a little bit larger than that, it may put you out where you're just not going to get that chair because one, these aren't cheap, they do cost a lot of money, and you don't want to spend that type of money and then not be able to use the chair, or the potential to break it is there. So with this is $500. That's pretty standard with what I'm seeing across these chairs that are similar style with this, but there is a 10% off code that you can use right now. I'll actually have one, it's on their website, but I'll have it in the description right now, so hopefully you guys can still use it. So that brings us down to $450. Now, looking at other chairs with this, autonomous is the big one. So this is the Ergo 2 chair that I have right here. This thing, I bought it for about $350, but it's $500 right now. So it's the same price as this. The recliner chair that I have from Autonomous, which is the Ergo recliner, that is $600. It used to be cheaper than this. Now it's more expensive. And with this, that chair only has the 250 pounds for the capacity. It still has the recliner feature with it. It's a good chair, but this is 150 pounds more of weight capacity with it, and it's $100 cheaper. So again, this was the big draw that I saw with actually wanting to try out this product here. I like seeing more competition out there now. Autonomous was kind of the big brand that I've typically known about, and I know there are other brands out there, but I'm starting to see other brands pop up. I think the driving competition helps with the pricing structure here, but it also gives you more options with this as well. We have the Easy chair that I tried. That one I believe is $450. You can get that on sale typically though, but weight capacity with that, it's only 300 pounds. It doesn't have the recliner feature. So there's a lot going on with this that I really like. I'm going to talk about all the features with this. It has 5 different adjustments and things like that after I actually build this thing, spend a little bit of time with it as well. So what I'm going to do, we're going to cut ahead. I'm actually going to show a time-lapse video of me actually making this thing, and then when we cut back, I'll talk about the features. I'll talk about the things that I'm seeing that I like about this, any potential downside or things that I'm not liking, and then we'll wrap everything up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cut ahead now and we'll get this thing made. Alright, so all set up here. I've spent the last handful of days with this chair, and I really like this chair. So there's a lot of upside here. We have a couple things that may be potential downsides for some people that we'll talk about here in a little bit, but let's cover the adjustments first. So basic one, we have height adjustment, right? So I can go up and down with this. Behind that, that lever allows you to slide the bottom forward or back. That actually changes the position for the lumbar support pad also. And what's interesting about this is this ring behind here is plastic. It actually allows for some flex. So if I actually tilt back and like rotate, it actually still has support while still allowing me to actually do that and not being extremely rigid. So I do like that. The thing that you lose with that though is there's no way to adjust this, meaning you can't slide it up or down on your back like some other chairs. We have that. On this side, this lever here allows you to either lock the chair in place, or there are 4 different positions that you can put this in. So if I lock this, that's going to be locked, is what you heard. I unlock it, it unlocks and allows me to tilt back, right? And with this, one of the reasons why you would tilt all the way back is in the middle here, we can actually slide out the leg rest, and then I can lean all the way back, kind of like a recliner. I just put my legs up, which is pretty cool. The thing with the leg rest portion here, there's no pad. So the autonomous one has pads, but the way that actually comes out is different. I don't like the way that one comes out. I like this locking mechanism, but that is a trade-off. This doesn't have the pad, it's just hard plastic. With that, the autonomous, you actually slide out, and then you have to they're flipped under, and you have to flip it over so that you can actually use the leg rests. It just doesn't have the best sliding mechanism. I really like this. After that, we have the armrests. So I can slide them forward, I can slide them back, tilt them in, tilt them out. And then on the inside here, there's a little button. If you hold it, you can slide them up, and then you can slide it down. So we have all those standard adjustments. And then of course, the actual neck rest here, where I could tilt this forward, tilt it back, and then if we wanted to, we could raise it up and we could raise it down. And I like the material on this as well. It's got a good feel to it, very similar to the other chairs, but this seems like it just has a little bit more give, so it's not quite as rigid, and I like that. I've actually found myself using this neck rest a little bit more because of that. On the very bottom here, you do have a tension knob, so when you're actually leaning this back, it just however much tension you need for your body. So it could feel like it's going to fall back really, really quick, or you can adjust that and it's going to feel like it has maybe a little bit more support to slow that down. So that's going to be all the different adjustments with this. Pretty standard for all the chairs that I've actually reviewed. We see a lot of these same features, minus of course the leg rest, because they just have that autonomous chair. So let's talk about the things that I really like about this first. So big one, we talked about it earlier, the 400-pound weight capacity with this. I really like that. The price point, because it is cheaper than the autonomous, I think is really good. It's pretty comparable to the other chairs. So if you're gonna get a chair like this, you're kind of in that price range. But if you check back frequently and you get one of those discounts, you can knock that 10% off, that 50 bucks. Now we're talking $450 for this versus $500. That's a $150 difference compared to the autonomous chair that has the same leg rest, right? So I like that. I like the aesthetics. I'm actually gonna hop off here for just a second. So if we turn this to the back here, I like the aesthetics. It's a very clean look. It's still modern, which a lot of the chairs that I've reviewed, they still have that same look. They're almost, I would say, like modern / futuristic in a sense. I like all the other different aesthetics that I've seen with these chairs. This just seems a little bit more clean in a good way with this. It's not as noisy, right? It doesn't have as much going on with it. So just looking at the back here, the side, so I do like that. Now, with all that being said, let's kind of transition into the things that I don't necessarily like with this. And this is because this has to deal with the aesthetics. This has a shiny, silver type top to it for the legs, for the base here. And it just doesn't seem to fit the rest of the aesthetics. And it's also potentially going to get scratched up a bunch. So I don't really like that. I wish they would have just gone matte black with the whole thing. I think it would have looked a lot better like that personally. Of course, these are personal preference things, something to keep in mind. Next, the cushion here. This cushion is the same as every other cushion with the chairs that I've used. It's high density foam. So with that, it does offer really, really good support, but for longer sitting sessions, it may not be the most comfortable. And that may be an issue for some people. Of course, you could just buy a topper yourself. You could put that on there. You could find one off of Amazon, and they're not horribly expensive, $20 to maybe $40 with that. But I just wish there was still an option where they had a little memory foam topper built into this, so it was just a little bit more comfortable. That's just my personal ask that I've been talking about for all of these different reviews. I still haven't found one that actually offers that. For the lumbar support, I like where it's set. Again, trade-off, you can't adjust it. It feels fine, but this is still an instance where I would put a pillow behind this just for better lumbar support for myself. I do have this typically, I actually push this all the way back so that it has more support for me, and then I slide the pillow behind that. I've done that with every single chair. I just ultimately end up needing that extra support for my lower back, but something to keep in mind with this. And that's really the big downside outside of potentially the lack of cushion with the leg rest here. It is hard plastic. Maybe if you're going to be like that for a long period of time, it's not going to be horribly comfortable. I don't think it would be an issue, but it may be an issue for some people. So let's just recap really, really quick. In terms of what I like about this, weight capacity, price point, all the different adjustments and the aesthetics. Moving on to the negatives here, or I wouldn't even call these negatives, kind of like a gray area. It's just, again, my personal preference, my personal opinion on this. The legs here, I say keep the whole matte black aesthetic. I don't really like the shiny silver look that they have at the bottom. We don't have the cushion for the leg rest here. And then with this, a memory foam topper built in to the actual pad here for, I think, just a separate option that would be great for every single company. And so that isn't even just specific to this company, that's for every single company out there. So that's actually going to be it for this one. I think this has a lot of upside. It's a good option for people if you don't want to go with autonomous. I think Easy Chairs was the other one that I did. And I know there are a lot of other brands out there. This is another option for you to potentially consider if you're looking for an office chair. So I'm gonna have a link for this in the description so you guys can actually find this. Remember, check back frequently because you have that 10% off code right now that you could use. So drop that down a little bit more for you. And then they have a ton of other chairs. This is just one option. I think they have like maybe 8 or 9 different options out there. So you can always find the one that's right for you and in the price point that you want as well. Now, if there's anything that I didn't answer in this video, let me know in the comment section. I will make sure that I answer that for you down there. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.